From more talk about college football's evolving landscape to specific on-field questions, there is plenty to recap from the action. Let's get to the biggest takeaways from the Wednesday storylines at SEC Media Days. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said Monday that 6 of the league's 14 teams were above an 80% COVID-19 vaccination rate, which is significant because once teams reach 85%, they'll no longer be required to test regularly. With the league not planning to reschedule games that are disrupted due to COVID-19 complications, teams that can hit the 85% threshold could end up with a competitive advantage by avoiding potential forfeits related to virus issues. It should be no surprise, then, that the league's 2 favorites are among those with the highest vaccination rates. Saban said he thinks Alabama is pretty close to a 90% vaccination rate just one day after Georgia coach Kirby Smart said the Bulldogs are above the 85% mark. I'm hopeful that more players make that decision, but it is their decision, Saban said. But Saban reiterated that he's allowed doctors to give, sort of lectures, about the vaccine as they make what he referred to as a personal decision. I don't have any regrets. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Isn't that why everybody's here? Fisher said. That's what makes this league this league. That's what we expect to do at Texas A&M. In saying all that, Nick and I are friends. We've known each other a long time. We coached together. We are from the same world, if that makes any sense. I have the utmost respect for what he's done and what he's accomplished. He's the standard, and the standard is what you have to play to. Fisher is among a long line of Saban's former assistants who have tried and failed so far to knock off their former boss. Last year, a loss to Alabama cost Texas A&M a spot in the college football playoff. Texas A&M would have easily made a 12-team field, though, and Fisher encamped himself among the most vocal supporters of the potential for expansion during his Wednesday appearance. I'm all for it, Fisher said. I think it's necessary. I think it's needed. And not just because we finished 5th, but I think, here's the point I want you to ask. Name me a sport in any collegiate level that except for the top 5 conferences, which are about 60 teams, where the other 60 teams have no chance to win the national championship. There's not a sport in our world that can't happen. It's never enough, Leach said. I'll tell you, Dr. Mark Keenum, our president, is on that committee, so I know they're in good hands. I think that part is outstanding. I think 12 teams is a huge step in the right direction. I personally would like to see 64, and you could format it out pretty easily. But I think it's a huge step in the right direction, and I look forward to it. I talked to Tennessee, but that thing nothing ever got nailed down, Leach said. Then, pretty soon, they had coup d'etat there. You guys can sort that among yourselves, but that's pretty well documented. So, yeah, I didn't end up in the middle of the coup. Lucky for me, first-year Vanderbilt coach Clark Lee faces a steep climb as he takes over a program that struggled to an 0-9 record during last season's SEC-only slate. Though predecessor Derek Mason took the Commodores to a pair of bowl appearances in his 7 seasons, it's been 8 years since Vanderbilt last finished with a winning record, as the consecutive 9-win campaigns of 2012 and 2013 under James Franklin fade further into the rearview mirror. It certainly has an impact, and it will continue to have an impact, Lee said. I think as that number becomes conceptualized in diagrams and those are released and as shovels hit the ground, I think we'll continue to see a positive impact in recruiting. Of course, recruiting will still be a unique experience for Lee at Vanderbilt, where admission standards are lofty and elite academics require a commitment from athletes that makes the school unique among its SEC peers. But as a former Vanderbilt player, he is uniquely equipped to make that pitch. I jump in with an accelerated perspective, Lee said. I know the intricacies of what the program is about, how it fits in our university, what the recruiting profile should look like, and where the resources are. So for me, it's seizing the opportunity we have to build something different to give this program chance to be at its potential.